has been updated.
Oh, tapes. Let's do it.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Your Wolbachia stopped the infection all right, but I still don't get it. How can a few bacteria change males to females? I know they're only bugs, but...
It is not such a rare thing in the natural world. Many insects and nematodes are infected with Wolbachia.
But why?
They nest in the cell cytoplasm of the host, even in the egg cells, with the result that the offspring are born infected.
Hey, Bojo.
Welcome back.
However,
Thanks.
Wolbachia cannot nest.
Thank you, Kev Scotland and CTs for the resubs. Thank you, buds.
So even a successful infection of a male ends after a single generation. This means the Wolbachia must resort to maximizing the population of infected females.
Sounds like an ethnic cleansing campaign on a tiny scale.
Gender change from male to female is their survival tactic.
Analysis complete.
So more females means more Wolbachia carriers, so it can keep thriving in the following generations. But the parasites in a human host are supposed to be a mating pair. If there's no male, there'll be no offspring at all. It's killing itself.
Slow down. This tactic is intended for environments where a single male can copulate with multiple females. Originally, the Wolbachia did not infect the vocal cord parasites. I created a mutated strain, modifying the Wolbachia so that it could infect monogamous pairs. The Wolbachia's greatest multiplying tactic, the male-to-female change, worked against itself in the monogamous parasites. Just as you said. Then, I performed repeated selection of Wolbachia strains until I achieved 100% certainty of male-to-female conversion.
Creating female-female pairs, unable to reproduce. And you say the Wolbachia affects the host of the host, that is, us, cutting off our means to reproduce?
It is almost certain.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Turn female. After all, mammals possess no natural gender-changing function. But some Wolbachia strains can cause cytoplasmic incompatibility in the host.
Is that some cell deformity?
Put simply, it means the altered sperm of infected males kill the female's egg on contact.
And that's happened to us?
Yes. And
Damn,
yet,
dude.
what occurs in humans is not just simple CI. To date, there are no cases of Wolbachia affecting humans. The fact.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Fact. Is it the vocal cord parasite's affinity with humans? I do not know enough to say for sure.
So the parasite warps the host. Reminds me of what Skullface said.
It is the way of all organisms to create their own optimal environment. Just look at you and this base. Organisms that cannot do this are doomed to extinction. The difference with parasites is that their environment is another organism. That creates a connection between life and life. Parasitism, symbiosis, or death. In this way, the host too is challenged to adapt.
Where are your friends?
The map has been updated.
You gotta extract him.
Man, this is getting nuts. Let's go from the top down now.
DD makes a pretty good partner, huh, boss?
Yeah, he does.
Too early to say.
Yeah?
No, it's not.
Just seeing him come back makes me real proud.
What breed is he? He's not a husky.
You're right. Siberian Husky is a cross between a Spitz-type dog and a wolf. I think DD might have some wolf blood in him, too. He isn't just smart. He's also shown remarkable judgment. If he doesn't do what you want him to, he's just doing what he thinks is right in the situation. And he's steady under fire. Remember, he's no lapdog. But learn his strengths, and you'll understand each other soon enough. You'll make one hell of a team.
Ocelot. Why don't you take it apart to the target?
Why?
Yeah. When's the last time you heard a wild cat raising a dog?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
I know at first glance he'd make the right partner for you. And I figured it was about time he got out into the world.
So you passed him off on me.
There, you see? I knew you liked him.
I don't know about that yet. I still think he's trying to figure me out, too.
I'll spend some more time with him. You'll see how helpful.
Okay, subject is in.
I prefer to work alone.
Ocelots don't hunt in packs.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I'm glad you like him. DD's really taking to you, too. And to going on your walks. Don't be shy about taking him with you in the future.
I'll think about it.
That is so awesome. I love it. Where are we right now? So far. I think we'll evac to it. Do we have any... Let's clear this place out. I think we got some stuff we can pick up here.
Emerick will remain here at Mother Base for now. But not as a member of Diamond Dogs.
Cheers.
I still don't trust him. That work for you?
Fine by me. He can't be allowed any contact with staff either.
Yeah. A lot of the guys would love some payback for 9 years ago. We still need him alive. But we have to restrict his movements. He can only go where we tell him. And of course, the interrogations will continue. He worked for that skull bastard for nearly a decade. He still has more to tell us.
How long are we gonna press him?
If our investigation shows he really had nothing to do with the attack, we'll reconsider his place here. But I don't expect that to happen. Remember that water tank-shaped object in Emerick's lab in the Soviet base camp? The thing that started talking to you like a possessed answering machine. That was
He's coming too. Roger that.
to control unmanned weapons. You remember, back in '74 in Costa Rica. It was in those machines you fought there. They were designated...
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
And each of them was fitted with an AI unit called a reptile pod. Emerick created it. It mainly handled the machine's posture control and autonomous behavior. But the Basilisk, aka Peace Walker, also featured a second AI pod. That one was called the Mammal Pod, and it was created by Dr. Strangelove. She tried to recreate the boss's personality through the Mammal Pod, but you pulled out its memory boards. That's when it transferred its own functions to its reptile pod. Just like a human brain compensating for damage by using the remaining healthy parts. The result was a unique entity. A hybrid
This
of
is all
the
Peace
reptile
Walker
and
stuff.
mammal. It sank to the bottom of Lake Nicaragua with Peace Walker. But apparently they salvaged it and transported it to that lab. Don't let it deceive you, Snake. It may
He's coming too. Roger that.
but it has neither a personality nor a will. Like Emerick says,
What happened to his gun?
it's just a machine.
Now that is impressive. That is quite a balancing act.
You gotta extract him.
Reaching.
Snake, do you remember Amanda?
Yeah, I do.
Their revolution was a success. Somoza resigned, and Nicaragua has a new government. Amanda's really working hard for her country to be reborn.
Good for them.
She says she wishes Chico could be there.
That revolution was the dream. For Amanda, for Chico, and their father.
That chopper was no place for Chico to die. I'd like to at least think history will remember his part in the revolution.
When you pick up a gun, there's always
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
that as well as the rest. Now that he's gone, it's up to the rest of us to decide what it was all worth. If we don't, There's nothing to prove that Chico ever lived at all. Or his mark on the world.
Amanda told us that Strangelove contacted her after the revolutionary came to power in Nicaragua.
Thank you, Bayjust. Appreciate it, man.
The AI researcher from Mother Base?
Cheers to you.
We'd lost touch with her. Till Amanda heard from her out of the blue. She told Amanda she wanted to salvage Peace Walker's drive parts or something from the bottom of Lake Nicaragua. Amanda passed the request on to her friends in the new administration. She's a national hero now, after all. So Strangelove got a Soviet military aircraft to transport something to somewhere. But apparently the cargo wasn't big enough to have been Peace Walker itself.
So what was it?
Who knows? We recovered Peace Walker's nuclear warhead ourselves 9 years ago. What could Strangelove have been after? Amanda said she didn't mention what her reason was or where she was headed. Nicaragua is a socialist state now. With Amanda vouching for her, the government didn't feel the need to concern itself with the details. All Strangelove told Amanda was that she was going to continue her research, and that the rest was a secret. Right before the attack, Huey was in the control tower to prepare for the inspectors. He was with them when it all went down. The control tower collapsed with the rest of it strut. His body was never recovered. But he was the one who met the inspection party when they arrived. And he was the one who showed the nuclear inspectors to the tower. You remember the way it went. First he recommends we agree to the inspection. Then he gives them the okay without our permission. All the time acting as if he was doing us a favor. On top of that, he even had the guards disarmed that day. It would send the wrong message, he said. Whatever the angle, it all leads back to Huey. I curse my own stupidity for not realizing sooner. Huey escaped with that unit by chopper. I've been hunting him for 9 long years. The other reason I was operating around Afghanistan was to dig up his location.
Huey's in Afghanistan?
Yes, and I have a good idea where. Now we just wait for the right moment. This time, we'll be the ones using him. He's going to tell us who our guests really were that used a fake nuclear inspection to blast our home into the ocean.
Dude. Okay, so that was before the interrogations. Okay, hold on.
Buddy has arrived at Sniper. Map has been updated.
He's coming too. Roger that.
You call that thing Sahelanthropus. Where does the name come from?
Well, several years ago, an excavation team discovered a hominid skull in the Sahel region.
Central Africa. The Southern Sahara.
Cipher gave the specimen the name Sahelanthropus, man of Sahel. And then they covered the whole thing up.
Why?
They probably wanted to monopolize information about human evolution to have a head start in their genetic research. At least, until they had an idea of what they'd found.
It was that big of a discovery, huh?
Sahelanthropus was a gracile hominid, estimated to
You gotta extract him.
years ago. What's significant about it is how its skull's foramen magnum faces down. In other words, its spinal column supported its head from underneath.
It stood upright.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Sahelanthropus walked upright 3 million years before Australopithecus, making it the world's oldest human species.
Walking upright.
That's not real, is it?
Get it?
Is that real?
The name
That's not real, is it?
Sahelanthropus for your machine.
Walking upright was the decisive difference between our ancestors and other anthropoids.
You gotta extract him.
Brains could get heavier once they were supported by the
That's a
spinal
lot of
column.
people.
That led to the use of tools and the development of complex communication through
It is
language.
real.
Only
Oh, cool.
man is capable of this. My creation will be the progenitor of all bipedal weapon platforms.
And you did this for Cipher.
No, not at all. Sahelanthropus is the best proof that I never betrayed you guys.
What do you mean?
The reconstructed Sahelanthropus skull looked exactly like the skull we used as our logo 9 years ago in the Caribbean.
An army without a nation. Outside the world order.
The design was based on Pangea, the supercontinent that existed 250 million years ago, right?
Yeah. When the world was a single landmass. That concept's at the source of our strength.
I felt the same way about Sahelanthropus. Sure, I was forced to build it under their orders, but I always wanted to put its technology back in our hands someday. That's the reason I incorporated the old insignia into Sahelanthropus' name. Don't you see? That's how much I was thinking about you guys.
Oh, I see you all right. I see someone.
You piece of shit game! You
Snake, talk to me! Snake! Snake!
anger. Thankfully, we got a save in the middle of that, so we got most of those resources and we did the mission. So it could be worse, but... Damn it. Damn it.
Amanda told us that Strangelove contacted her after the revolutionaries came to power in Nicaragua. Strangelove, the AI researcher from Mother Base.
Wait.
I remember her. We'd lost touch with her until Amanda heard from her out of the blue.
Does it restart the
drive parts or something from the bottom of Lake Nicaragua? Amanda passed the request on to her friends in the new administration. She's a national hero now, after all. So Strangelove got a Soviet military aircraft to transport something to somewhere. But
Yeah, we
apparently
heard this.
the
We
cargo
heard this.
wasn't big enough to have been Peace Walker itself.
So what was it?
Who knows? We recovered Peace Walker's
So it doesn't
nuclear
save
warhead
your
ourselves 9
tape
years
progress.
ago. What could Strangelove have been after? Amanda said she didn't mention what her reason was. Right before the attack,
That means we probably heard
Huey
that
was in
too.
the control tower to prepare
Yep.
for the inspectors. He was with them when it all went down. The control tower collapsed with the rest of it struck.
Snake, you finally came. Just don't record this, okay?
Not recording anything. What's this about?
What I'm about to say stays between you and me.
Lols.
It's about the weapon to surpass Metal Gear. You know a researcher by the name of Clark? He works in the biotech industry, real advanced stuff. His area is bioengineering, but lately he's also gotten into genetic research.
Never heard of him.
Well then, what do you know about cloning?
I think I've heard enough.
Hold on, this is important. Cloning lets you create a genetic copy of an organism. You take the nucleus of one of its cells, and you swap it with the nucleus of an unfertilized egg from another member of the same species. They started out working with plants, but since then they've had success with other organisms, including mammals. It's a hot area for a lot of places right now. Corporations, universities, research groups. There's no shortage of scientists out to get famous and patent their work, with morality taking a back seat.
Isn't that a little outside your field?
It's got nothing to do with my research, but I thought it might be of interest to you. Cloning, and Dr. Clark, I mean.
Go on.
Now, this is really highly classified stuff, but I've heard that an American biotech company has successfully cloned a human being. What's more, it happened over 10 years ago, and the researcher behind it was Dr. Clark. You've really never heard of him?
L'enfant terrible. Isn't Dr. Clark a chick? Yeah, Dr. Clark is paramedic.
His age, where he comes from, that might
Trey
not
Dog.
be his real name. And I can't even say for
Let me know
sure
when you're ready.
he's a he. Clark's employer, ATGC, its company motto is embracing your hopes, preserving talent.
What does this have to do with
Preserving talent?
Cipher. Dr. Clark works for ATGC, and they have connections to DARPA. Cipher couldn't function without the communications network DARPA.
You know what? We're gonna redo this tape. I also think we didn't listen to the second half of the first one, so Yeah, that was about the L'Enfant Terrible. Crazy stuff. Ender Gaming, how are you, man? Good to see you, bud. Man, we look badass in this, but it doesn't do anything. So.
Thanks.
Drakov! Thank you for the 6 months of awesome, buddy. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you for it. Thank you for it.
Please select a mission.
Yes.
Unit dispatched. Unit dispatched.
Welcome back. Thanks.
Unit dispatched.
There we go. Jack, thank you for your support as well, buddy. Appreciate it greatly, dude. Thank you for it. Let's do... We're just ripping through these side ops, man.
Please select a landing zone.
Boom. Let's go back to our sneaking suit.
Deploying.
You are snoring. You are snoring, and it's loud. This is what's been snoring all that time. This right here. This is Dimitri, and he has been snoring like a small chainsaw. Isn't that right, Dimitri? Hi. Dirt. Oh god. Ugh. Dimitri, pause. You good, man? You gonna wake up a little bit now? No more snores? No? Okay. Hurt. Bum, 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 bum. He is a Russian cat. Yes, it's Dmitri. Dmitri the Russian cat. Hello, friends. How are you? It is good to see all of you today. Welcome to the stream. I will go drink some vodka. Yes? Vodka. Yes. Vodka, yes. Yes.
The map has been updated.
Hi, bud. Did I get that about right? Is that good? How dare you ruin his 4th map of the day? I know, right? Terrible. Terrible. You're terrible. Terrible.
Thanks.
Sevx1, thank you for the 6 months, buddy.
Be careful down there, boss.
Will do, Bray.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Dr. Clark works for ATGC, and they have connections to DARPA. Cipher couldn't function without the communications network DARPA's built. Meaning, Cipher has to be a part of the Pentagon. Or at least, the two are joined at the hip. DARPA is a driving force behind human cloning. It's a pretty high priority project.
That's right, Barry.
And this Dr. Clark, some say he's a pivotal player in Cipher. But that's not all. Every cell nucleus in an organism contains the genetic information for that organism. Think of it as a blueprint for life. Clark appears to be working on how to decode this information and rearrange it at will. If you could do that, it would mean being able to custom design human beings for specific purposes. Can you believe that?
That's exactly what Solid Snake is.
That this is all fact.
Hey, Nuriel, good to see you.
Talents. If your genetic information died with you, that would be a terrible loss for mankind.
Donkey.
But what if mankind could preserve you for future generations by cloning you?
All right, enough. I get the idea.
What an ass, am I right?
I know it's inductive reasoning, but this weapon to surpass Metal Gear they're developing in Africa, I believe it's something that uses this new technology. Speaking as a fellow scientist, it chills me to the bone.
That's rich coming from you.
If genes serve as our blueprint, then I wonder if they include an impulse that drives us to tweak the design. Can you imagine that? Genes encoded with information that wants its children to decode it. Is life itself putting the direction of our next evolution in the hands of scientists? I guess it would take some real arrogance to believe that. And yet, it could be what Cipher's after.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree. But that was an interesting story. It'd make a good movie.
You have to believe me.
Where'd you hear all this anyway?
Where? I just overheard it in bits and pieces while I was forced to do that research for them.
Right.
Wait a minute. Look, I want to help you. I want to be of service here. I'm risking my life with this.
Is that so? Maybe it's time we brought someone else into the conversation.
No, not him. Not Ocelot. You can't do this.
Dude, I'm loving these tapes.
Ever since the attack on your
Cheers.
unit 9 years ago, the name Big Boss has become known the world over. What do you mean? Those of your men who survived traveled far and wide. They fought throughout the world. In fact, they're part of the reason we have all these PFs now. Every one of them suffered their own phantom pain from losing you. Talking about you wherever they went helped to heal their wounds.
Thank you to 7x1 and Rocket Charlie. Appreciate it, man.
Has been told on every battlefield they've set foot on. Obviously, as the tales have spread, the truth's been distorted, painted over. Big Boss sacrificed himself to show us the threat that Cipher poses. He sounded a warning, so it goes. A warning? Too much power destroys the hands that hold it. Apparently, you chose to be a living example of that. I never said any of that. The moment any truth is passed on, it starts turning into fiction. The problem is, fiction inspires people more than facts. To the world, you're now the legendary mercenary Big Boss. The lessons you've taught the PFs are the reason they're so widespread. They're the reason they've survived. And you know what they all aspire to? To one day go nuclear, just like you did. And stand up to Cipher. Of all the stupid things you could do, they'll never understand what you really wanted. Heroes are misunderstood. It takes a man of the same caliber to understand what drives them. Bottom line is, these guys want to be like their hero, Big Boss. And deep down, they all have their eyes on nuclear weapons. They say that a nuke is the only means of standing against Cipher. These days, it's becoming little more than a slogan to rally the troops and survive in a cutthroat business. Currently, there are 3 major PFs who've been
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
CFA, Rogue Coyote, and Zero Risk Security. HEC's investigations have shown there's almost no overlap between their areas of operation.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Turf war. More like they have a gentleman's agreement. If you do cross paths with him, you probably won't have to face more than one at a time. Still, don't expect to walk in the park. The CFA, Contract Forces of Africa. These guys are
We gotta extract him.
Head office is in Pretoria, South Africa. That's also where the South African Defense Force is headquartered. We think the two are closely connected. An HEC investigation revealed that most of the CFA's operators are former SADF soldiers. South Africa has been locked in struggles with neighboring regimes for years. That means constant action.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
A company drawing its recruits from hardened military vets. You can bet they know how to handle themselves. Do not underestimate them. Within the CFA is a company of soldiers made up mainly of locally hired operators. They speak Afrikaans to communicate with personnel from the CFA. But if you notice any speaking the local language, that's them. Though hired from the local population, they were originally part of a paramilitary group, so they'll have plenty of combat experience. And unlike their days shooting junkyard rifles out of beat-up pickup trucks,
Hey, Ouroboros.
CFA now supplies them with the latest gear from the West.
He's coming too. Roger that.
They've been combat trained by the South African Army. All that adds up to a much stronger fighting force. So don't brush them off.